You're on.
Great. Good morning. It's Monday, December 6th, Tuftonboro Board of Selectmen's meeting. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Visible?
All right. Do we have any public input? All right. Hearing none, let's go on to review and approval of minutes. Yeah, review and approval of minutes. Thank you. Friday, November 19th work session. This was the event we had down at Union Wharf with executive counselor and DES.
I move that we approve those minutes as written.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
That's
You
it.
were providing taxi duty,
I
right?
was.
All right. Sorry about that. And then regular meeting minutes from the same day.
Nothing jumped out at me that was way out of hand.
Yeah, I didn't see any issues either.
I'd move approval of those minutes as written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And non-public for the 19th.
I'll move approval.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Jack, come on in. Come on down.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, we'll see if we can change it.
Great. 153 building permits, 34 new homes, done 558 inspections. The ice eaters and the 2 docks will go in this week. I was going to do it today, but I've got 2 inspections to do. And then the tires in my truck are supposed to be here, so they will be here this year, and I'll have them installed next year. So I'll set to encumber. So, well, I don't have to encumber it. The bill comes this year, we just pay that this year's budget.
Right.
Great.
And were there any other budgets that we needed to go over with you? We did the government buildings.
Right, and I had someone come in and look at that doorway, so I haven't got a number from him yet, but
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was
Any,
Doug.
it was done.
Yeah.
Any warrant articles that we're gonna be looking at from you? No? Okay.
No, don't think so.
What was the inspection number, I'm sorry?
558.
What's that? No. All right.
Wonderful.
Right, good. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Wish it was always Eddie.
Yep. All right. Let's move to the signature file. So no transfer station today. Is he next week now? Cammy?
Yes, he is. He was not feeling well today, I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. First up in the signature file, administrative abatement for PIDs 56-1-9 for a veterans exemption.
I'd move that we sign that.
And we've got all the paperwork all set?
Yeah.
The paperwork was previously done. Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next up is change in compensation form for a transportation per diem employee, and this is a new hire.
So it's not a change?
Well, this is what we use to input
Okay.
data in, so it's a change because
from 0 to something.
Right, previously he was not.
From what I heard,
Right.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we sign.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Yeah. And next we have the flexible benefit plan for the town for 2022. And this looks like it's
Just
a
the chair.
single signature, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we have the chair sign that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next up is, this is an amendment to the Health Trust benefits, including temporary COVID-19 relief. And again, this is a single signature document.
I'd make the motion that we allow the chair to sign.
I'll second.
Seen that?
I knew it was coming in
Yeah.
and read it. but-
I did have a chance.
Okay.
Yeah. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Next up is an intent to cut for 56,311.
I'll second, or I'll make a motion that we sign. Although it would be nice to let these folks know that they need to get that signed before they start hauling logs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is this one a little bit delinquent?
Well, I had to wait for a trailer full of logs out of there this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next is an intent to cut for 34-1-1.
I'll make a motion that we sign.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Is it the 6th?
Yes, it is. St. Nicholas Day and my wife's birthday.
It's my daughter's birthday yesterday.
Did you remember it?
Yeah. And we cooked her
Even
dinner.
better, huh?
Cooked her dinner.
Hey, terrific. All right, next we have an application for veterans credit for Gilbert Mcdonald. And looks like everything is in order.
I'll make a motion that we sign that veterans credit paperwork.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Let's see.
Oh boy, more.
Thank you. Christmas
so to speak.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, really. Next is our annual contract with the Lakes Region Humane Society for shelter services.
I'll make a motion we sign.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And this is a one signature document.
Whoops. I was in the wrong place. It's coming back.
And next up is a notice of appointment to the Parks and Rec Commission
Lloyd?
for Lloyd Wood as an alternate member with a term expiring in June of 2024.
I'll make a motion that we sign that.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay.
I'd have to go non-public to express my doubts.
All right.
I think your vote is expression enough.
Yep.
Good.
Although we don't want to dissuade people from volunteering.
That's true.
Exactly.
Okay, no date required there.
Right. All right.
Oh, loading right through all this stuff, that's
All
good.
this stuff back in a folder.
By the end of the year, you get a little better at it than January comes.
Oh,
for
what's
the end of
wrong?
the year.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, we didn't have a transfer station,
Right.
so that gave us a little time.
Yep, it did. All right. The next up is a holiday schedule for 2022. We get one for the transfer station and the other one for the rest of the town employees. And I know when we talked about it before, the original thought was to have the 22nd and 23rd of December.
Correct.
So, and we're now looking at having Christmas Eve holiday on the 23rd and the Christmas holiday on Monday, the 26th.
Right.
Okay? You guys had a chance to look at this?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't see any big
Any-
discrepancies, looks pretty good to me.
Any concerns? All right.
And how is the transfer station different?
So, because some of the holidays actually fall on work days for them, they take a different day. For instance, the holiday is January 3rd, which is a Monday.
And then-
Transportation's not open on Monday, but they are open on
Saturday.
Saturday, so they're taking Saturday as,
The actual day.
yeah,
Right.
and,
That's what they basically done.
and they take a Easter holiday on
And then Christ-
Sunday.
So, so we got 12 holidays here.
Yeah, 12 holidays here.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
so
All
Make a
right,
motion that we sign the holiday schedules.
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Could you ask Kathy to come in for a second?
You bet.
Thanks.
All right, so done with that, we're ready to move on to the action items. thing we have is request from Parks and Rec to add money to their budget for 2022.
Yes.
Can I just ask Kathy a quick question?
You bet.
On the workers' comp, we got a white out here.
Yeah, I highlighted it for you because Primex, if you remember, we voted on it and Primex sent us an updated one that lowered the amount. So you guys re-voted on it on 11/5.
Okay.
And so Budget Committee needs to re-vote on it on 11, or re-vote on it. So I emailed Jane and told her that,
Okay.
so
So
today.
the 29,488 is gonna move over into this column?
Yes,
All right,
which will bring us to even with this.
all right. Great,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep, no, that's fine.
Well, then if Parks and Rec is requesting an extra amount, that would mean the budget committee would have to review that one again, eh?
How, it's like 700?
$700, and,
I was unable to attend their Zoom meeting. I tried on my tablet, but I got nowhere with it, so I'm really not
Are
aware
they
of what's
zooming
going on.
now?
They tried to. I presume it happened.
it's not allowed.
No, there wasn't a quorum, so.
Oh,
they
there
said
wasn't a
it-
quorum. Okay,
Correct.
never mind then.
Right, right.
Okay.
That was on my list to tell you when it came up.
I attempted
Yep.
to do it, but I couldn't make it work on my
All right,
tablet.
well,
so,
yeah, so they need to understand that there has to be a live physical meeting if you want to include somebody as a remote participant. But you can't have everybody remote. So there
Okay.
has to be a physical location where the meeting is that the public can attend.
Right.
And majority of members have to be at that session. You can have a member participate remotely. The rules change a little bit in terms of everything has to be done with name identification,
Right.
roll call
I'm
votes,
aware
that
of
sort
that.
of. But only if there's exigent circumstances that requires it, not just well, it's inconvenient for us all to get together. So the Zoom thing was under the governor's emergency order
All right.
during COVID.
Are we still during COVID? Are we still during COVID? I don't know.
No, not, the emergency order expired
Yeah.
last
It did
June.
expire. and-
Right,
Okay.
so there is no emergency order that authorizes that.
Mhm.
The legislature has considered bills this past year to allow virtual meetings. Didn't go anywhere, went into study committee.
All right.
So,
Okay, well, they didn't have a quorum, so obviously
Yep.
they didn't have a meeting either, so.
yeah,
So
anyway.
I'm not really, and this is just one selectman, which is a representative to the budget committee. I'm not really interested in reopening discussion. I mean, we've got that budget done, the $700.
Well, and again, I think as we've told budget presenters before, if you need to go back to the budget committee because you want to reduce a budget, that's one thing. But to come back later and say, oh, there's something that I want to put in that I didn't include the first time is,
Yeah, I think we can work around $700.
yeah,
I mean, some of the things that he's already got in his budget are not cast in stone.
Right.
They're his preferred programs, but they may or may not happen.
All right.
And-
I'll report such to
yeah, and he
Dennis
has,
and to Brandon, who's actually the chairman of the Parks and Rec Committee.
right,
And we will find the money for them.
So Brandon's the chairman?
Yes.
So it might be helpful if Brandon attended at least one meeting here when we're doing the budget, so that it's not getting, I mean, I don't know who creates the budget. He probably has Dennis create most of it.
For all intents and purposes, yes. Yeah. But I'll relay all this to Brandon and to Dennis,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there.
yep. Yeah, I think he's, there's, again, if something came up that was huge and unexpected, you know, the pavilion at the beach collapsed,
Right.
And we knew we were gonna have to do
Right.
some rebuild beyond the insurance money, so we wanted to add some money in, that's fine. This is a program that we did ask him, okay, so how much is it gonna cost him to get somebody to do this? And this is what he's coming back with, but I'm in agreement with,
I mean, we'll find
Chip.
$700 in
Right,
there.
exactly.
I mean, the social security or the unemployment question I had for Kathy
Mhm.
was a good example. I mean, had it gone up $2,000, we'd revisit it with the budget committee.
Sure.
It went down, so we'll revisit it again.
Yeah.
But that's a big player as opposed to,
yeah.
Yes, oh yeah, that affects all the town
Right.
employees and everybody.
right.
Yeah. Good. Thank you guys for educating me as we go along, because I gotta learn the job.
Yep,
And that's great.
You know, I know we're televised, but it also reinforces the idea that we asked for the budgets to be done in September, 1st
Yes.
of October. And now it's December and we're getting the modifications.
All right, not good.
It's not a good way to play.
Great. Okay, there's that one.
all right, so I also have here a request for bids for installing and removing swim platform and swim lines at the town beaches. And this is for next year, and it's, he's asked to receive the bids by the 17th of December.
Thinking that he's gonna change his budget again.
Well, I'm not sure, I mean, I think it's great to go out for proposals, but we're looking at work that will start in May, and we're asking for a proposal for it.
Well, I see that as him just notifying us that he's trying to get the jump on it. I don't see that there's anything
Okay.
truly, which
right.
is nice.
So, did
It's
this,
not a budget request, is it? I don't see it.
did this go in the paper? So,
So it needs to, if he's
Well,
gonna do it.
Yeah, I think
so
we can-
if we're gonna request bids, and he wants them on the 17th of December, and the
Wait.
earliest it's gonna be in the newspaper is the 15th,
That's not gonna work.
I know,
Yeah.
at this point, right? It
I'm
won't be in
not-
this week's paper, it's too
No,
late for this week's.
correct.
So, next week, the paper comes out on the 16th, and he wants bids the next day, so that,
So if she has it by 3 o'clock on the 7th,
7?
oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong,
3 o'clock today, the 6th.
she needs bids by, she needs ads by 3 o'clock on Fridays,
Right,
I believe.
right, which is this Friday,
So it would be the 10th.
right,
if-
but it would actually come out on the 16th, which is the day before he wants them due.
Right.
Okay.
So that's, you're not gonna get any
That's
response.
not gonna work.
No,
So,
because she would have needed this week's on the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, he could do it by the 30th and I'd be happy, or the 31st. Well, 31st is New Year's Eve, but, the work isn't gonna be done until May.
right,
Right.
There's no real
There's no
pressure.
rush.
no,
Again, I commend him for trying to get the jump on things, but this
I
is,
mean, I'd sooner, we've got enough stuff to do. I'd sooner
Right.
just wait until the first of the year.
yeah,
why don't we I'll bring that word that we'll wait
Yeah.
until the first of the
Yeah.
year before we request
Right.
bids.
so, yeah. And somebody wrote on here, bids open Monday, December 27th. I'm not gonna be here Monday, December 27th. I don't know that you guys are gonna be either, but anyway, yeah, I think doing it.
Wait till the first of the
Yeah.
year and
Yeah,
then
it's
Yeah.
2022 operations. Let's
Right.
just do it in 2022.
I'll relay that word.
All right. Have a letter from the president of Mirror Lakes Estates Association relative to an ongoing problem at the entrance to their private road from Route 109.
Yeah, I think it's a letter to the state though, isn't it? We really aren't involved.
No,
Yeah,
we're,
nothing to do with
we're,
us.
we're copied on it,
Yeah.
so it doesn't require any action on our part. It's not clear to me what he's asking for from the state. But, hey, Stephen,
Good morning.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Note on the Carroll County Communications District Planning Committee looking for our 2 representatives to the committee. So you got anybody in mind?
I don't,
One lady had contacted me, and I told her at that time to get a hold of Kathy to find out what the process was to apply to be one of the representatives. I don't know if she ever did it or not.
So we appoint the representatives.
Yes, but I went through Kathy to
Yeah,
come to us
yeah.
at that time because she was the assistant.
yeah.
And we've never seen anything.
So,
I'll ask, when I go to the budget meeting
Yeah.
tomorrow, I'll ask the table.
All
There'll
right.
be somebody there.
Tomorrow? I thought it was the 14th, the budget committee was meeting.
Isn't it tomorrow,
No,
Cameron?
I would have to go look at the calendar.
Well, you
Let
don't
me go.
have to, that's fine. But
I believe it's the 14th.
next time I see our friends at the budget committee, I'll ask that committee as well.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yep.
somebody there knows, or maybe somebody there would be willing to jump in.
yep,
Possibilities?
all right. Letter from Charter Communications. I assume it was, had a check attached. Our franchise fee
Please.
for July 1st to September 30th, $7,673 and change. And as I remember, that's a percentage of what is
Right.
paid by
Yes.
subscribers in the town of Tufton. And then some further correspondence on Wildwood Estates from the state. Saying that it should not be a Class 5 road.
What's really not up to them?
What is the state's involvement with the class?
Well,
5?
because they pay us road money based upon miles of
We do get it.
Class 5 roads. So maybe you can weigh in on, have you seen this?
I haven't seen it, no, I just heard Wildwood Estates.
Yep, yep. So, and we've had a couple of emails from this guy with respect to the fact that we have a town road
Right,
up there that's a Class 5 road that's accessed by crossing a Class 6 road or by coming out of Ospey.
correct.
And what they're saying is that the access
What part of it is class 6 billing?
Past the camp. So
From-
it's
from,
Canyon Road was all the way down through.
right.
I
So,
bet- Is that actually class 6?
yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it looks like a class 6, but I mean, is it?
Way down, it's Class 6. Past
Once you
the
get to
camp.
the camp,
Right.
from the camp on through is Class 6. It hadn't been maintained in I don't know how long, but
Right, forever.
other than
Bill
Billy
goes through there
Stockman
once
used
in
to
a while.
clear it out so he could use it, but we don't.
I just don't remember it being changed to a class 6. Or was it always?
It's always been a Class 6 past the camp. The town plows to the camp and turns
Right.
around by it.
No, I know there's been no
Yeah, yeah.
maintenance, and I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what it looks like. I just don't know whether the action of making that a class 6 road ever happened.
Well, if we go back in the road file someplace, we'll probably
Yeah,
find when
I
it
can-
happened.
I can look it up, and it's Class 6 beyond, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And there's a
anyway,
short piece in Wildwood.
yeah,
It's class 5.
that's right. And what they're saying here is that it's accessed by a private road on the Ospey side and by a non-maintained road on our side, so it can't be a Class 5. And I don't understand
Who
why.
wrote that? Where'd that come from?
Casey Shingleton at the state DOT.
Okay.
So, and I know this is, Will you pull the other prior correspondence and get Jack all of this stuff? So what they're trying to do is take a little money out of our pocket.
Right.
And I don't know
But
how.
we do maintain that road, the Wildwood, I believe, right?
Maybe Ossipee does, but.
Well, on agreement with the.
Possibly,
Right.
yeah.
But, you know, we have other sections of road that are
Right.
maintained by agreement with other towns as well.
Right. Ossipee only plows a certain way. They don't go down in there. They pave it themselves. I think it's an association road.
Wildwood is?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because they paved it. I believe they paid to pave it. Ossipee paved their portion.
Yep. All right. Well,
I'm trying to remember where the gate is. I know there's a gate.
Well, there's two gates now. Because Wildwood has two sections. It's 24 through 30, something like that. And
Right.
the 30 end is in Ossipee.
right.
And then the 24th to number 1, which Bill owns number 1, that has a gate on that section. Then there's a gate way down at the bottom by Terrace Pines. And there used to be another gate way at the top where Ossipee still plows because his mailbox is up by where it's a frisbee disc golf course at Terrace Pines runs.
So here's the section they're talking about, I believe. We're not talking about the residential road down here that's private.
Right, just a
We're
little
talking
section
about
going
this
down the hill.
section here.
Right.
From the town line to here, and then
Right.
from there, it's not maintained. And what they're saying is that.
I think Ossipee maintains that for us.
Right.
They don't plow it, as far as I know, because I know the gentleman, Gary Kuska, who built the house there at number 26. He lives there year round. He plows
Yeah.
pretty much from the top of the hill all the way in.
All right. Well, if you would give Jack copies of all this stuff and poke around a little bit, as I say, it's as many projects as the state has to do, it's amazing to me that they're putting a lot of time into this.
300 yards of
Into this,
road.
yeah,
Right,
quarter of a
yeah.
mile
Yeah.
of road. But it's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Steve,
Yo,
come on down.
how are you guys this morning? Having fun yet?
Always.
Another nice New Hampshire day out there.
Got it. Exactly.
A little ice, a little snow,
Yeah.
a little rain.
Well, it'd be nice if there's enough rain to wash away what's left of the existing so we can start fresh, but.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it was pretty icy this morning in my driveway.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So there are a couple of things I want to talk to you. One is I sent out all the documentation for the Woody River, yes, Tin Mountain. Yeah, Tin Mountain got the grant in order to continue with it, adding wood into the Melvin River. They've done it up north and they're kind of moving their way down. What the intention of being is they create these little pools for spawning brook trout. So it increases the habitat as well as reducing the sediment going down into the river, but it creates these pools and then the sediment falls down the bottom of the pools, creates the little spawning pools for the brook trout and as well as keeps the sediment from running down the river.
See, that's what happens when you get rid of the beavers. You know, Tin Mountain.
Tin Mountain becomes the new beavers, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the beavers aren't gone. I got a beaver in my neighborhood.
Oh, man, I tell you.
They come back.
Yeah. So, and because it goes through the town property, Melvin River obviously runs all the way through the town property, they would like permission from the town to go ahead and continue doing that.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion that we have the chair sign the acknowledgement agreement with New Hampshire State Conservation Committee
Second.
in favor of Tin Mountain.
And any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right.
I'm just appalled that they think the Melvin River comes, that's the Melvin River, but that's all right. Pine Swamp Brook, the Cold Brook, the Fields Brook, all run into the Great Meadow. And it may exit as Melvin River, but what they want to work on is the Pine Swamp Brook. So,
You're probably right, I'm not gonna argue with you guys. You probably know all those brooks and streams much
Oh,
better
yes.
than I do.
quite well, but it's all right. It's a good program.
Yep.
Yep, it's worthwhile.
Well, Tin Mountains are good people.
They have
They
a
are.
great educational facility, they
Yeah.
really are.
Oh, I guess I signed the wrong line.
Oh, no?
Yes, I did. I signed the landowner rather than governing body.
Oh, yeah, they got it.
Yeah.
You want my copy?
Yeah, you can have mine.
Sure.
Just in case, that's,
Line it up initially.
yeah. I try not to look as
I know.
ignorant as I may be.
We're inept.
Oh,
We're not
yeah.
totally inept.
Right.
Thoroughly dangerous,
Well,
man.
at least appear to be somewhat professional.
Well,
So, you know, that's, long since, all right, go ahead. You have other things. you
Yep,
wanna
so
do?
the other thing, speaking of beavers, I don't know if you guys have taken a look at Mirror Lake lately, and over by Lang Pond Road. So we have beavers back where you guys cleared it out a couple of years ago, and they got another dam in there.
yep.
And I was over there yesterday, and the water is probably 3 or 4 feet from Lang Pond Road on both sides now by the old culvert. So just wanted, I didn't know if you guys were aware of that. I'm kind of concerned that maybe it may start affecting the road itself.
I'm well aware of it. As you may remember or not, Ben Ladd and I went over there 77 times. We hauled the dam out, we worked our way down through clearing out obstructions all the way down under the bridge to the concrete spillway. That was volunteer work.
Yeah, that was,
We had a man from the DES come up who works with bridges and dams and things and agreed that that needed to come out. The principle that we were working on at the time was to lower the water level enough to make it easier to rehab that section of Lang's Pond Road.
yeah,
Which
with
worked.
the new culvert, yes.
When things were put in, we actually installed some little benchmarks and things for water levels.
Exactly, it's at the highest level it's ever been.
Yep.
So,
He told us that the landowners on either side of that dam now are the ones responsible for it. However, it was done on a strictly volunteer basis, so that's,
all right, you're talking about the outlet.
yeah,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
and
causing.
you're- But
No,
you're
that's,
not,
no, that's
That's
not.
what he's talking
okay, you're
about.
talking about the outlet.
By 109.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's the only place they can build a dam that will affect the level of the lake.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
place that it's
I
right
know,
out.
right. I know we've had beaver issues up in the culverts at Lang Pond Road.
Right, but that doesn't,
That doesn't raise the
on
lake.
the other side of the lake.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
essentially what's happening now is the inlets by Lang Pond Road in Mirror Lake are almost at the same level.
Yeah,
Right.
So there's no water moving from the other side into Mirror Lake.
yeah,
I mean, that's how high the water level is.
yeah.
I don't know what to do, I'm just bringing it to the attention because I just drove down there the other day and I said, wow, that water level is really high.
Well, my recollection from back when you guys were working on this is that some of the folks that live around Mirror Lake are happy to have the lake high.
Yeah, oh, that's a
And,
challenge.
and so the challenge is, while it causes issues, people like it that much. So,
Well, they like it because they have docks now, they can get
Yeah,
their
yeah,
boats in
right,
closer
right.
to their docks,
Yeah,
so they
right.
like it at the higher level.
Right.
Which is fine, I think, until it gets to the point where maybe, there's another thing, is as it gets up higher in the level, the phosphates, you're now covering new ground that wasn't in the water level,
Right.
so now we're pulling more phosphates into the water column as well, which
Right.
is gonna increase the odds of a cyanobacteria bloom in the.
so what are you suggesting?
I think that dam's gonna come out of there somehow,
At the beaver dam?
the beaver dam,
Okay.
yeah.
And did we take it out before, or did the?
Not we,
No,
Well,
I think it was
as
the
a town. Ben Ladd and I did.
Mirror Lake
As
Watershed
volunteers.
Association is from what I understood was the group that actually did it.
I think Dwight went there and trapped him, I believe, I'm not positive.
He had
Wow.
trapped beaver there before, they will come back as they did. We also noted with the fellow from the DES that the beaver were using cement blocks
Yeah.
styrofoam insulation, 4x4s, things like that, to keep that water level up.
Construction
Very
neighbors.
well engineered, huh?
But we did that strictly on a volunteer basis, and I'm not, this time of the year, particularly interested in going in there waist deep
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I know when it gets close to the bridge, the state will go in there with a cherry picker and they'll pick the
It's-
dam out.
But that isn't close enough to anything.
I don't know where the dam is this time, because they used to
Pretty close
dam
to
up
the
down by
bridge.
the culvert.
Well, there is a metal aluminum dock on wheels that goes out. If you follow that around, the dam is, it's nowhere near where you could get to it with a machine.
So now, the dam that's there now
Yeah,
is
they-
really closer to the bridge.
Have they moved it
Right in front
down?
of the church.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
down by the church. Actually, you can get it better from 109.
Yeah,
Okay.
the state doesn't-
I was there yesterday, so very difficult to get it from church possibly because
Yeah.
it's in all that brush and everything that's
Right,
there.
that's quite nasty.
But on the other side, on the 109 side, I don't know how close it has to be, but it's pretty close to,
That'd be pretty close. They use a catch basin cleaner, they go in there and they pick it out.
Because we've got the state shed right up here, we could ask them to have a look at it.
Yeah.
so, I just
What?
didn't know what effect that would have on Lang Pond Road, 'cause it's getting pretty high.
Well, not just, you identified, not just Lang Pond Road,
Right, but
but the water quality in the lake, and other things as well, so, yeah.
Getting the state to take responsibility for something like that is probably going to be the biggest issue. But they might. It's worth inquiring.
Well, if they've cleaned it out before,
They've done it once, I
There's a
suppose they've set
chance.
the precedent.
right, there's a chance, and again, it's a state bridge, so what they're doing is they're doing maintenance activity to prevent the bridge from additional
We actually
deterioration.
found the start of a dam under the bridge, in the culvert, so to speak, the concrete culvert. They had started to build one in there. They're very good engineers.
Yeah, so that what they'll do, they'll keep moving down, right? They'll
Yeah.
build their primary one, and then they'll build one down a little further so that it doesn't, they're clever little.
Yeah.
We have them out in Great Meadow too, we were building our trail, and they're starting to clean out all the brush around, and it's like, they're amazing.
Yep,
Although I did capture a couple bobcats on the trail camera, so, and the activity seems to have dropped since those fellas have been down there.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. Well, that's the way nature's supposed to
Nature,
work, right?
yeah.
All right, anything else?
Let's see, one other thing, I think in the spring we talked about the parking lot at Great Meadow, bring that up, and then maybe we're having that plowed this year. A lot of people interested in snowshoeing and skiing out there, now that we've got the trail, it's really decent down there, so I don't know if you guys remember that we can have Mr. Bean go in there at the end of a storm, maybe, and clear out the parking area.
My only concern with people going any farther than the very end of the trail is we've already had one person several years ago snowshoeing with another man who got out into the meadow and fell in up to his armpits and claimed that if he didn't have another fellow with him, he never would have got out of there. We have to be very careful, I think, advise people to not go any farther than the end of the trail, or at least mark that somehow so they know that, because you can get in a mess out there.
I can put a sign up. I can put a sign at the end saying it's not recommended to move beyond this point due to the thin ice.
I think that would be the best. The snow tends to cornice over the high meadow grass,
Yep.
and you can, if you don't know where you're going, it can be pretty nasty.
I've gone up to my knees in there a couple times.
Yeah, and then in the snow,
And now that we have the beaver dam out there too, the water is even higher.
Yeah,
it just caution, that's all.
Yeah, I will be more than happy. It's a great idea, Guy. I'll put a sign at the end recommending because of thin ice not going for a past this
Yep.
point. At least cover the liability so that they can't say we didn't know.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I'll get a sign up out there.
okay, good.
And that's pretty much it.
You know where Hambrook is with his work? I
So
know
he's
did
been out
the
there,
field
he
work.
did the field work,
Right.
so we're just, and actually, I think he was out there again. I was there, drove into the house parking lot after that storm, and I saw all kinds of tire tracks and footprints going
Yeah.
out into the into the woods there, so I think he was here again to do some more stuff. We have sent letters to him as well, saying, you know, everybody is waiting to get your subdivision stuff done, so
Right.
please let us know. And we did that, I think, on Wednesday. We sent that out to him and haven't heard from him. So I'll send another letter off to him today,
Yep.
asking for an update where he is.
When does the planning board meet again?
So we meet on the 16th?
So you,
So
when
can't-
you send that letter, say we'd like to present it on the 16th to the
Okay.
planning board. Maybe that'll,
It's too late to do that. But,
well,
well, I mean, we can look at it on the 16th, but, you know, if we're gonna have a hearing, it has to be noticed and,
start that
yeah,
process.
right, right. So if we can get moving along
Get
that.
that part done.
Yeah,
I'll put it in there. I'll put
All right.
it in there. And I'm also, with the partner that we're gonna use, we also went to him because they're the one that recommended Hamburg. So we've already sent a letter off to them saying, you know, send a note off to him and
Yeah,
let's get this
well,
going.
that's the moose,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
That's not-
And I did let them know that once the subdivision's done, we have 30 days to close the property.
Mhm.
So I didn't want to hear once it all is done, is that we gotta wait.
Right,
So I did let them know that as well.
okay,
Sooner is better.
Sooner the better. I agree with you 100%, Guy.
Get this thing done.
yeah,
Awesome.
good.
And that's it, so.
All right, thank you, Stephen.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. All right, move on to correspondence. So we have a number of,
You should have had 2 more things in your,
I should have,
yes, in the action. The gray folder.
all right, let's see.
New Hampshire Lakes is looking for a donation and a letter from White Horse Recovery for next year.
I see it on your list at the front, I don't see it in the folder. Unless I just,
So White Horse is
it's not,
putting an application for 2022.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll get with you after the meeting. Budget committee would like to set up a program that's a little different than what we usually do. And they all get copies of the, right now, the request copies are in one bundle. And we'd like to all have copies, so, but not this year.
of the request letters. Yeah, those two aren't in here, so I don't, maybe they're in the other folder.
They might have gotten put in that by accident.
Well, I don't know,
All right.
so,
Well, we're gonna go through the folders, we'll probably come across them if they're in there.
yeah,
I came down that one day.
really,
Uh,
all right.
You walked down vacation and stuff. Anyway, so,
All right.
Talk a little more about the sausage.
Property transfer, 688,000, and it was assessed at 687,600, pretty close.
You know, make sure when I go with them. So a couple
Notice of
questions.
course completion
Since added to it.
Close that door, please.
for
Certainly.
Little change.
Chief Shigori,
Originally brought.
de-escalation training.
Thank you.
Letter from Cobb Reconstruction, budgetary cost estimate for the police station.
Thanks.
Yep. So, $2,039,407.
What was it, 2 million? I'm sorry.
Yep,
You pass that to me when you're done.
Yeah.
yep. $407.
And that's all in? I never know from him whether that's all in.
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at it till this morning, so.
Just gonna grab a-
I should have got the numbers backwards. Yeah, I
So,
did it again. Oh, yes.
Yep.
I think that number does indicate a slight decrease in what.
From what we had in June.
Yes.
I think you're right.
Which is what building materials are doing.
20.
Let me check the table out here.
Yep, well, I'm gonna suggest that we put this on the agenda for next Monday to go through in more detail, and everybody ought to have a copy of this.
She's coming back.
Yeah, she will,
Yeah, that'd be good.
you know, so we get a chance to look it over and
Right.
figure out, get the lay of the land for where we need to go from where we are. All right, roadway assessment report from HEB for Tufton Neck Road. So Candy,
Yes.
while you're out of the room,
We made an executive.
what we're gonna
decision.
do is, would you make copies of this for all of us? We'll put it on the agenda for next Monday. And
Okay.
we've got a chance to kind of look at it and get the lay of the land and figure out where we need to go next.
Okay.
All right?
Mhm.
Thank you. And how much additional money we have to chase to get it done?
$439,000. What it looks like.
There are other concerns that I have.
Yeah.
I would presume this needs to be put back out to bid, because the original bidders are probably busy.
So.
They didn't sit there and wait for us to, I haven't
Right.
read enough of it to know.
Right, so before town meeting,
Mhm.
what'll happen is which was supposed to happen before this year, but the grant didn't get signed in time.
Right.
That we'll have final price. So at town meeting, that's the price, it's all in, guaranteed.
So that will be put back out to bid.
Well, yeah,
Gonna have to.
right.
Right.
My interpretation of reading that is
Yeah.
that they've reviewed their numbers.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten bids yet.
Interesting. Okay, HEB.
HEB, roadway assessment report for Tufton Neck Road. I had a chance to look it over the other day, a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's,
I think they did a good job. I mean, they gave us 3 alternative
yep,
Right.
routes.
yep. So, and, which is typically what they do, which is, okay, you want to do the spit and polish, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
or do you want to do the full rebuild? So their estimate of probable construction cost for a full roadway reconstruction, including culvert replacement and roadside drainage improvement, is $1,678,000. So that's the full job. If we want to take a middling approach and do pavement repairs, an overlay, and culvert replacement and drainage improvements, it's $950,000 by their estimate. And if we just want to do drainage,
And they had one where it was everything but the bridge.
I don't think any of this includes the bridge. So it includes new guardrail over the bridge, but I think the bridge is
Isn't that what they're considering a culvert?
Well, culvert, we're talking normal drainage culverts.
Well, they do actually express well, they tell the truth, that bridge is a culvert.
It is a culvert, right.
But again, I think what, Chip's saying is, are they considering that or not?
So the option one, which is drainage improvements and pavement repairs, is $739,000. So you got 739, 950, and $1,678,000. And when I look at the full-blown detail, I don't see replacement of the basin culvert in that. We're talking about.
They do call it bridge and they give it a number.
Right.
And they do tell all about the condition of it.
Right.
But I presume, because they don't say much more about it, that they would think that it would be in the state's list for something to do, even though we're not.
Yeah, so the bridge is a separate piece. One thing that, one of the recommendations or things that they noticed in here and recommended was that we add a sign. Where is it? Yeah.
What, the intersection?
At the intersection.
Yeah. Page 2, section E, traffic signage.
Right.
Yeah.
That we install an intersection warning sign approximately 100 feet before the curve to Tufton Neck Road as you come in from the west on Crossneck. So it seems like an easy thing to
Well, yeah,
go ahead
definitely.
and do, independent of
Anything else?
drainage and anything
Right,
else.
yeah, you got it.
So basically, the drainage piece is, they're saying, is $740,000.
Right.
Drainage improvements, replacement of culverts, and patching and pavement repairs associated with that. The other stuff beyond that is all the repaving. So if you take the difference between 740 and the 1,678,000, that's what I would call our normal reconstruction expense. In other words, the
Maintenance budget kind of budget.
well, the $400,000 a year that we do in
Right.
in
Prepping.
road repaving,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Grinding up the old road, rebuilding the base,
Sure.
laying down a base coat and then a top coat. So I see this as a multi-step, multi-year project, like we do on the repaving. The first step would be to schedule and complete the drainage improvements and culvert replacements.
We do it in phases.
And then subsequent to that, to go back in and do the road reconstruction. But as with, for instance, the upper section of Ledge Hill Road, if we don't get the drainage right, then even if we tear the road up and rebuild it, we're still, we've got the same issues with the base, drainage, frost heaves, no piece. Jim in next week?
Yes,
Okay, so maybe this is a good thing to
Yeah.
discuss with
Absolutely.
and I gave him a copy as well.
Thank you. And it brings my thought back to this federal stimulus money and projects and where we can, I mean, this document might be considered a shovel-ready project, something that we could get grant money, go forward and do it. But we don't have it today. All right, so that's another thing for next week. We just keep kicking stuff to next week, see? Yeah. All right.
All right.
Next in correspondence, agenda for the Carroll County Commissioners meeting.
And they've gone virtual activity, or at least the delegation's virtual.
Yeah, I watched the delegation meeting the other day, and there were like 6 or 8 of them that were
Right. So let's
virtual.
not mandate vaccines at the nursing home, but let's make sure we don't get sick.
Yeah, yeah.
The editorializing, I apologize.
Yeah, no,
Monday.
yep. All right, executive council meeting wrap up from 11:22. Landfill inspection report from September of 2021. Dave Allwine. Let's see. So it's a small leachate breakout near SW-1. It's not clear that there's any action required by the town at this point. And I don't know if DES then comes back and says, oh, do this, that, or the other, or this. Announcement from the New Hampshire DES on availability of American Rescue Plan Act grants for wastewater and stormwater infrastructure projects. So, it's just what we were talking about.
Stormwater going on there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wetlands permit application for Whortleberry Island. Proposed 22 Carroll County expenditures. So the 2021 budget for Carroll County was 22 million and change. And the proposed budget for 22 is 18,500,000 and change. So I guess that's going the right direction depending upon where they're taking the money out of.
Well, I think that there's a reduction in the payment. I didn't go through.
I didn't
I
look.
think there's a reduction in the payment on the nursing home, just as like our fire station.
Yeah, yeah.
Goes down as you go along.
Yeah.
All right. Letter from Second Wind Water Systems. Certain activities on your property affect the quality of groundwater. So, I don't know who this letter was, it's just a general
Yeah,
letter that
that's,
went out.
didn't really, wasn't specific.
Not specifically sent to us,
Right.
but,
Information?
yep. Most people who have septic systems are aware that their septic system discharges to the ground and thus to groundwater. Similarly, any gasoline, motor oil, paint, garden chemicals, lawn chemicals, or other household chemicals that are spilled, sprayed, spread, or dumped onto the ground can make their way into the groundwater. Because because your property is within the SWPA, whatever that is, Source Water Protection Area for a public water system, activities on your property that affect groundwater can also affect public water supply. So, okay.
Be aware.
Yep. All right. Minutes from Carroll County Commissioners meeting, other agenda. Registry of Deeds interruption. Hearing between the Board of Tax and Land Appeals for the state of New Hampshire and the landowner in the town of Tuftonboro, scheduled for June 1st of 2022 at 9 a.m. The wheels of government move quickly, don't they?
It depends.
So, all right. So this is somebody that has appealed to the state on their assessment. All right, and then a permit by notification for dock repair. This is just having trouble finding the property location. Okay. YMCA of Greater Boston, so that's Northwoods or Sandy Island or. Is there any other correspondence? Did you find where we're saving money?
Well, I'm a little concerned about the Registry of Deeds to begin with. I mean, their budget dropped from, the actual budget for 21 was 477,806, and they're down to 386,481. So I don't know where they came up with $100,000 worth of savings. The revenues are skewed a bit. They're down.
Well, I presume that, like the towns, regardless of where your revenues are, they can be used as an offset for expenses, but you can't not reflect the expense in the budget.
Right. And you can't over-expect the revenue, which is a problem we always have.
And they did have that, according to what I saw in the meeting. One of the things that did not produce as much revenue as they thought was hay, because it was so wet, and that was just one of them that sticks in my mind. I tried to stay awake through the whole thing.
You know, like,
They have a new CFO
Yeah.
who had also done the most recent audit. So she's had noted some issues and problems in the way they were doing things and is working on fixing them, so that's promising.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you really have to get into the weeds with this thing, because county general revenue insurance refunds actual for 2019 was 16,000. September 20th, 21, you've got 156,000, and they're estimating 176,000. So the 2020 actuals were 72,000. So it's like $100,000 jump on one line, which seems odd.
Yep.
I mean, it's not as if the business just started.
All right.
But days
Well-
looking at that.
Yeah, there you go, some bedtime reading for you. All right, let's move on to Selectmen's updates. Mr. Albee.
Okay, I went to the budget committee meeting before or after we had last met, to get some budgets approved. I believe we had some issue with the library budget. And I think it's more of a explanatory question or issue than it is a budget issue. So I think it's educating the budget members as to how the process works. And once again, talking about the fact that the library has a budget separate from the town. But that's a political decision. I think we've done all the work as far as our budgets are concerned. And it looks as though I just did some quick math. We're about 4% higher than last year overall for the budget. We're up 188,000.
Yep.
Which is kind of where we needed to be. I don't believe there's gonna be questions at the next budget hearing, because it's the,
CIP report on the 14th, yeah.
well, and it's also the health insurance, which becomes a bone of contention for whatever reason. Now it's down over $20,000 from last year. The other thing, I had Kathy print up a budget, hopefully you'll get a copy.
Yep.
So that we can kind of track where we're at. I didn't see any, the only major question I had, I asked her earlier about the Social Security. That looks as though if we had about $900,000 worth of warrant articles last year. And taxable warrant articles, I backed out the grant money.
Mm-hmm.
And if, we haven't looked at the proposal on the police station, but if the $2,039,000 holds and we budgeted $1.6 million that we currently have in the bank, that leaves us with $439,000 to raise. $275 at Union Wharf, I think was the number for there.
Mm-hmm.
And $50,000 for a cruiser and $150,000 for a dump truck, and you're at $914,000. So we should be able to, I mean, I think we might want to creep it a little bit to get some capital reserves going.
Yep.
Doesn't look like we're in too bad a shape.
So, I have had, in conversations with a couple of budget, call it departments or whatever, mentioned to me that when they showed up for the budget committee, they didn't know when they were supposed to be there, they didn't know if they were supposed to be there, and they, in one case, didn't have the same information they were looking at in front of them.
Right.
The budget committee did. So if there's a way you can get
Yeah,
the,
we're gonna try to take that.
get
We talked about
the
that.
secretary to, make appointments for these folks, say, and
Right.
communicate in advance. We want you there on the 14th and it's 6:45 or whatever, so they at least know what the expectation is. I think that would be helpful.
Right, and it's not that hard to include in the email or whatever method they're using for transmitting budgets, to have the department head get the copy that the budget committee has.
So we're all looking at the same thing, so when they're asking a question about a particular number, I can look through and
Sure.
find the number
There it
that they're asking a question about.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever be here a year when there are no complaints from the budget committee, but we told them that we're gonna start the process in September, they were gonna get the budgets done by the end of November, and I think that we've just about done
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Which gives them December and January to look at the warrants. We haven't looked at revenue yet.
Yep.
But I think it's gone along a lot smoother than it
Yep.
did the first year we started this. I did And it didn't take long. Guy did it in half the time that it took me, but one of the representatives of the budget committee asked her, what does it cost really? You know, alluding to all of these hidden budgetary items. And with the exception of breaking out the health insurance and the retirement for the captain and the chief, and I did the fire department, those are the only two numbers that were a little more digging. It really wasn't a lot of digging. The numbers are there, it's just breaking them out of the total report. So it cost us $900,000 to run the fire department for a year. I did it on 2019 actuals because that was the clearest one. I didn't think 20 was going to give us a good barometer, that being a major pandemic year. That's assuming the long-term debt of $184,329 as an ongoing expense, when really you're looking at a 50-year building. So the actual cost of that building on an annualized basis would be about $51,000. So the real number for running the fire station exclusive of debt would be about $850,000, which is about $1,500 a call. That's about what it costs. They do 600 calls a year, and it's 22.7% of the total town budget.
Well, and as with some services, I think we talked about this before, it's great to look at it and say, we spend a lot of money for a fire department, but when you need,
Yeah.
you know, when your house is on fire, or you have a medical emergency and you need a response,
Yes.
you can't put a price on that.
Right. And medical emergencies especially are a huge portion of what our department deals
They
with.
are.
And of course, with an aging population, we expect that to continue.
Yep.
And I don't think, I mean, Gordon has on occasion, you know, credit to Gordon, has looked at other towns and what their costs, their expenses are. And, you know, it's difficult when you're comparing town for town, because Tuftonboro is unique in having such a high value of real estate versus the cost of services.
You gotta look at the number of structures.
Yeah.
You have to factor in the seasonal population, and you know, as it relates to policing, we've talked about this before as well, the fact that in the summertime, with the swell in population here and activities, there's a requirement for a different level of response than there is in the wintertime. And yet, you can't really have a seasonal department effectively in this day and age. And so, how do you hit that level?
And it's easy to, I mean, we have 2 full-time fire people. I mean, it's easy if you bring all those numbers together, you can kind of project what would a full-time fire department cost you. You know, how would that impact the budget? And it's significant. So having a volunteer fire department really, in spite of the fact that we pay them for going out, which we should, it's still far less expensive
Right.
than having a full-time fire department. And this talk about having 2 ambulances and having a full ambulance staff,
Well,
that's a big number.
Right,
When you look at it.
right. So you're, right, when you trade what we're paying right now to stewards on the annual contract
Right.
for having full-time on board, the money we spend now is money well spent.
Yeah, big jump.
You mentioned the library budget and the concerns, and I was also made aware that apparently we missed making a payment to the library last year.
Did we? Are they dunning us?
What's that?
Are they dunning us for this?
No,
this-
no, but as they were going back through and exploring, you know, this year's numbers versus last year's numbers, and so, yeah, the last payment of the year, we didn't send them last year.
Did they bill us?
I talked with Kathy the other day.
Yeah.
about, there are a number of things that we don't get invoices for that we pay. So we need to have a good system of
Right.
a tickler or whatever, so that we deal with these things as they come up.
Right.
Or, say, we don't pay anything without an invoice and require everybody to submit something. But, it was, in passing, it was missed. And not only was it missed on our end in paying it, but the library never realized that they didn't get it until this year. Now, last year was an unusual year because of the COVID and because of transitioning to the new building, so there was a period of time where they didn't have expenses charged against their normal operating budget that they would have anyway. So money-wise, they weren't real short. But I only mention that because I think we need to make sure that on those items that we don't have, that we don't pay to an invoice, but we pay to a commitment, that there's a way that we make sure that we
So
stay
we
on top of
have
it.
to make note of it and be notified that we have to do it and
Right.
program it in the computer or something to that, whatever they do. I don't know about all that, but
Well,
All right. So,
Selectmen's update.
let's make sure that we're done with Chip.
Yeah,
first.
really.
You got anything else,
I
Chip?
was done with Chip
No.
years ago.
I'm done.
All right. Yes, sir.
CIP will meet with the Selectmen and the Budget Committee on December 14th, and we should have a paper copy of the CIP report available for everyone. The recommended amount total is a little bigger than $900,000, more like $1.2 million. We expect,
I was just doing the back of the envelope run.
Right.
yes. So, but again, there'll be things to look at, possibilities we may or may not decide to go with. I think it's been pretty well vetted. That's pretty much all I've had a couple of small requests for accounting things from citizens. One was with the town clerk. Easily got the information, everybody's happy. We move on. That's my report. Any questions?
So you mentioned the town clerk. Just an anecdote, meeting with a friend of mine recently who lives in another town, who shall remain nameless on the video, but he had recently taken a couple of cars off lease and bought them to retitle them, and titles are taking forever now. Jen told me last week, I think a week before last, 59 days it takes a state to turn a title now. So he mentioned it seems to be taking a long time, and he talked to the people in the town office. They say, oh, well, we only send them in once a week, so if you happen to bring it in on Monday, we do it Friday afternoon, or if you bring it in Monday afternoon, we send them out Monday morning, then it just sits here for a week. Well, I'm happy to say that at the town of Tuftonboro, this mail goes out every day, and our clerk's response was, I don't want to sit on that stuff for a week and be responsible for it. Let's get it. But apparently, this town was doing it under the guise of saving postage.
$1 here, $1 there. Adds up.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
on the size of that town's budget, I think it's probably not really measurable. All right.
It's kind of like that piece of Class 5 road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Give somebody a promotion, I guess.
Anything else, Guy?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so I just have a couple of things. Before I went away for Thanksgiving, I did finish the perambulation with the selectmen from Wolfboro. There are, our last go-round, we found or didn't find the final locations. There are 4 markers that are missing, one of which was there in 2010, and we couldn't find it now, adjacent to an area alongside a street that's got a pretty big drainage ditch next to it that maybe had some work done in the last 10 years. Another marker that was there had been knocked over by some roadside work. So I will be working over the next week or two with Selectman Deshay to put together our report. And our recommendation will include that we hire a surveyor to reestablish and install markers at those points that they're missing. Because at some point, you know, we keep losing markers along the way, there'll be nothing out there. And
Just
so,
historical memory.
well, that's right, that's right. And I think the line goes, I mean, and one of the missing markers that was missing in 2010, maybe under a big old tree that fell down prior to 2010, that's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
But I don't have the skills or the equipment to precisely identify a
Well, and if you look at the Moultonborough perambulation, where you get GPS,
yeah.
even if the marker's not there, you know.
So we have the GPS spots from 2010, that's what we were working with. The note with it said that it's accurate within like 100 feet. That's what the surveyor said in 2010. So again,
GPS is getting better since
well,
I guess.
exactly, but all I can go with is the information that we were provided there. But I agree. Anyway, so that helps us, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Planning board did meet on Thursday night. I was not back yet, so I haven't had a chance to talk to Diane yet to find out what went on. There was I think there were some lot line adjustments up in Ridgefield Corner that were on the agenda. I don't know what went on with that, but presumably it wasn't a big deal. I don't think I have anything else this morning.
So I wasn't at the meeting with the executive counselor down
Right.
here. Maybe you could just give me a rundown of what happened.
So, I would say they're ready to move forward. We need to get a wetlands permit application in, and Tyler's working on putting that together right now. One of the things that we're doing is he's contacting their surveyor to get out and establish the lot line alongside the wharf. But I thought it was a positive meeting. You can probably add some.
Quite congenial. It seemed very promising. No one that was there seemed to have, other than just getting the little details going, everybody seemed to think that
So
it wasn't a
we're still
bad.
moving forward on the grant and right.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
but part of that is hinging on the application being put in, as I recall.
Right.
And does the Attorney General have to get involved in that?
And the Attorney General's representative was there.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Now, and their involvement is to make sure that the grant and right process is followed correctly. They made some recommendations to the executive counselors about the value of that. But the executive council is going to make the decision as to what the actual value for the grant and right is. I suggested that $1
Seems like a lot of money.
seems like an appropriate amount. And I think everybody has a good appreciation for not only the value of the wharf for the town of Tuftonboro, but to Lake Winnipesaukee in general, to the state for its use by Fish and Game and other agencies as well. That it's not just, the benefit doesn't just accrue to the town of Tuftonboro or the residents of Tuftonboro, but to visitors and residents from.
So did Tyler have some idea of the time frame we're looking at? I mean, I'm hoping we can put this,
We talked about wanting to get, we want to get it done and to the executive council so that we're ready to go for 2022 town meeting. So, which to me suggests that we're going to be on the schedule of the executive council sometime in January. So I did have a note from Tyler that he's had contact with the surveyor, and I'll follow up this week and see.
So we should have,
So the survey work, the DES application, and that's what
Get that submitted, we should be able to
should be good to
move forward a little bit.
move forward. Yeah.
and if we could get him to put together some bid proposals for the work.
Yep.
Because then, I mean, even if we don't have our grant and right process done, unless they, whatever
We
happens,
can put it on
can't
the
do
warrant. We can put it on the warrant contingent on the
Yeah.
grant and right. Yeah, absolutely.
And we did
So,
speak to the effect that the best time to do the work would be in the fall, after most of the lake traffic is done, which also gives us a little more leeway towards the end of
Well, the
2020.
level's gonna be lower, so.
Right, all kinds of
it's,
things.
it's a better time to work on it for a
Yeah.
number of reasons.
We did laugh about the fact that Alton went ahead and just decided to build their boat launch ramp and, shut it down and work on it right in the middle of the season.
That wasn't Alton, that was the state.
Well, again, in Alton, I'm sorry, yeah, in Alton, but that
Yeah,
was,
August.
timing was like.
August,
really.
yeah, I'm sorry, this ram's not available anymore because we got a big project we're starting.
Yes.
That is a big project
It
too.
is.
Yeah,
They did one of those over in Summit.
Mm.
And,
Yeah. yeah. Well, it's the state's doing it, no,
Yeah.
No problem.
right,
Just do it, yep.
exactly. All right. Do we have any other business?
Joe?
Do we have any public input?
Yes, clarification on the library. Okay, to Chip, you mentioned something like 188,000, and I thought the tab was 204, 208. But more importantly, when you talked with Gordon and Dennis, some of the board members wanted a little bit more detail on the library budget, of which they were going to create a spreadsheet for those people to tell them what's going on. Do you remember that conversation? No?
Vaguely, I mean, I don't,
I'm just
my
mentioning.
attention doesn't get focused when they're talking about a budget that I have no control over,
Right, but
so.
you weren't the only one there. There were several people sitting around the table.
Right.
Barry was one of them. They were looking for more detail. And even though the library didn't have to provide it, Gordon would get together with Dennis, and for the next meeting, they would present possibly something. I'm just bringing that up as,
Okay.
and Guy was there too.
Your recollection is correct. On December 14th at the Budget Committee meeting, I, as a member of the public, would expect that Gordon would have the information that the Budget Committee requested.
Okay, thank you. Did I get the price wrong as far as the tab for the library?
That one I don't.
Was it 188 or was it 208? I'm just asking if you don't remember, that's all fine and
I can
well.
look it up.
Well, it's the only thing I remember comes to mind.
You know,
And that's all I have, thank you.
All right, we do have,
I just had two small updates. Sorry, I was writing when you asked, and
Yes.
if I spoke, I would have lost what I was writing. Not gonna lie. Not to forget that we're having a potluck lunch on the 22nd,
yes,
and none of you have signed up to bring anything yet.
so Wednesday,
and when's the cutoff on sign up?
Well, we,
The 21st.
no, because we kind of want to know so everyone knows what they can bring.
hot luck, so.
What day of the week is
I
it?
got-
It's
I'll bring
a
the pot.
Wednesday.
I'll bring my.
I can guarantee that I will be working and not attending.
Okay,
Don't count on
All
it.
right.
okay.
All right, so I'm sufficiently chastened. I'll look at the list and figure out what I can. I have a fairly limited capability when it comes to making food.
I can learn
I'm
you
not-
can
I'm not-
Spain. It's not hard.
Yeah, I'm not the chef that somebody else at the table is.
I've heard that too. Not of that, of this.
Huh?
Not of you not being a chef, but
I'll
of
look at
the.
what's on the list. now.
Okay,
Yeah. all right.
thank you.
I don't wanna duplicate. any
Yeah, exactly.
recipes.
And I just thought that it might be a nice idea if you might go around to all of the,
Yeah,
not
we've
all,
done
but,
it.
okay.
We've
huh?
done it.
Yeah. All
I
right,
know.
all right, so we do
We don't
need,
get paid to be nice around here.
Right.
we do need a short non-public. when,
Okay.
Do we?
Yeah, a couple items in here. Personnel. Uh,
Need a motion to go non-public?
I do.
I'll make a motion that we go into non-public session to discuss personnel issues or concerns or business.
I'll second.
Marcusson, yes?
I'll be yes.
Pike, yes?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.